Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you are Sean Diddy Combs and maybe Jay-Z, all I gotta say is not on my watch. You guys, if you don't know, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, there was a brief drop by Alex Spiro on Friday who represents Jay-Z. Now, let me just be clear. Alex Spiro is a legal mastermind. He filed an emergency motion to dismiss. Why was that so important? Because he filed an emergency motion to dismiss the case against Diddy, too. Yes, Jay-Z was named, but it was also the case against Diddy. Now, you guys, if you will allow me to cook, I have spent the day because Tony Buzzbee is off there drinking margaritas. And I said, no, baby, Sean Diddy Combs is not going free on my watch. I decided to clock in to let y'all know I'm more than a good read and a funny drag. I decided to clock in, do some investigation, and make sure justice is served. I promise you, if you guys are patient with me, and I have a PowerPoint presentation, I have receipts with everything that will blow your mind. I have receipts that will prove this 13-year-old is in fact telling the truth, or at the end of the day, there's a very high probability, and that this case is going to be moved forward. I guarantee you, just be patient. If you can't be patient, I'll do a 10-minute recap when this live is over. But baby, we are about to get into the Nancy Drew What It Do. And you know, old school tattletales. Hit that like button. You know I love a good PowerPoint presentation. Let's get into this. So, Alex Spiro, legal mastermind powerhouse. He cannot be denied. As much as Jay-Z wants to act like he cracked this case, Alex Spiro did. There was a interview done by NBC News, okay? I think Cheryl Amelis did it or whatnot, right? She did an interview. Now, when I watched it, it had the Jane Doe, and they asked her about her story. And NBC was like, and guess what? We found some inconsistencies. And I remember the way that I felt very, very angered, because if you guys don't know, I'm a big advocate for anybody with disabilities, especially cognitive mental disabilities. I didn't like the tone. Something wasn't acting right. It made me think, why does somebody with her obvious cognitive disabilities have to remember everything exactly? So, you know me, I was angry at the thought that everybody said that Diddy was going to go free. That Buzzbee, why he's drinking margaritas, Diddy was going to go free. So I decided to clock in and do some investigation. And what I found is going to shock you. It is going to electrify you. And for those that want justice, it is going to vindicate you. Are y'all ready for this? Okay, fine. Let's get into this. Y'all, I'm hyped. I literally was getting ready to go to bed and put some eyeliner on just so I could come with this Nancy Do Dirt Does. Also, if anybody does cite me, if anybody does use my investigation, please cite me as a source. I don't care. I know we all a big family. I don't care to share. If I have to share, just please cite me, because I did do half a day of work researching this. Literally, sometimes you just gotta, like all women know, sometimes you just gotta get up and do it for yourself. Now, the woman, let me just give you guys a recap. Let me cook. I promise you, I'm going to feed y'all good. The woman, who's now 38, told NBC News that she was living in Rochester, New York in 2000, and that attending the VMAs was on my bucket list at 13. I was like, oh my gosh, one of these things I've got to do. Remember all this, okay? She said she snuck out her window to evade her parents. She said a friend drove her to Radio City Music Hall. Remember this, because this is the same thing that Jay-Z tried to trip her up over. And let me just say this. I don't know if Jay-Z is innocent or guilty. I'm talking about Diddy's. We got you dead to rights. But oddly enough, Jay-Z, we got you at the scene of the crime too. So let's see. And yes, I have proof, video receipts, and picture proof. I got the receipts, okay? She said she hopes she gives others the strength to come forward. All right? All right. Simple enough. There's a few other things. She said a friend drove her to Radio Music City Hall in New York. She said in the lawsuit, people thronged into viewing areas outside the venue, which was decked out for awards. Crowds roared when J-Lo arrived. Eminem performed on the street. Remember that? She said, I didn't have a ticket. Okay. Now, she said, I was on the NBC News app. Sorry, I'm taking screenshots, right? She said she didn't have a ticket, but she wanted to get in. Okay. She told NBC News she spoke with musician Benji Madden at the after party. She said this was an after party Diddy threw. However, a representative from Madden confirmed that neither Benji nor his brother Joel attended the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at that time. Okay. Now, when this happened, Jay-Z ran to court, dismissed this. But here's the problem. If we dismiss this, that means Diddy goes free. And that's when I clocked in and I said, not on my watch, okay? She said that when they confronted her with these inconsistencies, you lived in Rochester in 2000. Your dad doesn't remember driving you. You said Benji Madden with the tattoos. He wasn't there. He was on tour. This couldn't happen. She said, and also I felt some type of way with NBC News that this woman clearly has some type of cognitive impairment. And they were trying to do a got you moment, which I thought was very, very cruel. And on top of that, I thought that their investigation was very flimsy. I thought it was a hit piece. And I thought they didn't go deep enough. But don't worry, y'all, I did. She said, so this is what she said when they confronted her. Honestly, what is clearest is what happened to me and the route that I took to what happened to me. Not all the faces there are as clear. So I have made some mistakes. I made some mistakes in identifying. They said the woman also could not provide further information about the after party she claimed she attended. Y'all buckle up. We about to get ready, right? So Tony Buzzbee on vacation, might I add. What are you doing, Tony Buzzbee? Like, clock in. God, do I have to do everything for everyone? They said Jane Doe's case was referred to our firm by another. That's Tony Buzzbee making excuses because basically he just signed off on it and he expected the people at the court and the lawyers to do. Alex Spiro, this is Alex. He is a legal mastermind. He is the reason Jay-Z is so bulletproof. Again, New York, LA, he has that thing on lock. He clocked into work and he gave a stunning emergency emergency motion to dismiss. Okay. Jay-Z was sitting there laughing. The only thing is, let's get into this. So I started doing a little bit of research. Let me bore you a little bit with some case law. Have you guys ever heard of a case called Pisula versus Roman Catholic Archdiocese of New York? It happened in 2021. I actually covered this case a lot. Now, what does this case with the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of New York have to do with Diddy? Besides Diddy's lawyer, Mark Agnifilio, saying, Yana, my client was even a choir boy. I remember Mark Agnifilio saying that let me put the Summer Jam screen. I remember Mark Agnifilio saying that at Diddy's bail hearing. Yana, my client, he used to be a choir boy. For some reason, why I was sitting there being like, yo, something seems off about this whole thing, right? I thought of the Pisula case, right? However you say it, Roman Catholic, Diddy choir boy, things were clicking, right? Now, here's why it is relevant, okay? The lawsuit named the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of New York, I'll break it down, but we got to go through this because this is important, okay? There's a lot of things you got to hold in your mind. The lawsuit named the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of New York and the Church of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, IHM, as defendants, asserted that they knew or should have known about Gaynor's abusive behavior and failed to protect him, okay? David Pisula alleged between 1965 and 1967, when he was a minor, he was sexually abused by Edwin Gaynor, a teacher and a coach. This was a very, very, very heartbreaking case, but he won big, right? A key aspect of the case was the CBA, right? Which that's a child violence act. YouTube is going to censor me if I say it, but the CBA is the Child Victims Act, okay? Which temporarily extended the statute of limitations for childhood sexual abuse. The court addressed whether exact dates of abuse, which occurred decades earlier, were required. The court concluded that For incidents recounted long after they occurred, particularly involving minors, providing a range of years instead of specific dates is acceptable. The decision reflects the reality that survivors often struggle to recall precise dates due to trauma and elapsed time. Okay, this is very important. Now, I do want to just say this, right? Pasula is, I think, second, what is it? Second, Pasula is, I took notes. Pasula is not federal. It is actually a state case. I think it is second appellate, if I'm not mistaken. I took notes. Hold on. Where are my damn notes? If I'm not mistaken, it is second appellate in New York, okay? It is not federal. So it does not bind. However, it is very persuasive. Keep that in mind. Binding means all y'all do this, you got to do it, right? Precedent means, yeah, peer pressure, you got to do it. Persuasive means you don't have to do it by law, but usually when you can show, because when federal court has a gap, they look to state law. So the state law is very persuasive in how a judge would rule, especially if there is an emergency motion to dismiss for people, right? Because an exact date wasn't there. Now, this is the tip of the iceberg. I have better proof, but I'm starting you off slow. You know, I like to cook and then give y'all appetizers, give you a little charcuterie board before we get to the soup, the appetizer, the entree. And baby, you know I love a good dessert, okay? Now, the court emphasized that dates and times are sometimes approximate and incapable of calendrical exactitude. In such cases, it held that survivors should not be penalized for lack of specificity if their claims provide enough detail for the defendants to investigate. The case has potential value for arguing in federal court that individuals who are neurodivergent or impaired may face similar challenges recalling exact details, supporting the admissibility of approximate dates or descriptions in abuse claims. Now, Tony Buzzbee is not from New York. He's a Texas lawyer. He would have no way, or he should have, because he's a $10 billion lawyer. However, this is standard New York case law. Every good New York lawyer should know Pelusa, it doesn't matter, right? The P case, right? Archdiocese. Why is this important? One, this girl is alleging to be a minor. Two, she is also autistic. Three, if you saw that interview when NBC News, I'm cooking y'all, we getting there. If you saw that interview when NBC News was asking her questions, she's definitely autistic. I don't know how high functioning she is, but it is a thing, okay? Remember when I said that this case law would be very, very persuasive? It does not control or bind, but it's persuasive. And if there is an emergency motion to dismiss, Tony Buzzbee, if he got off his vacation in the Cancun and actually started getting into work, it could be brought in front of the judge to say that these lapses in time really don't mean anything and that they should be allowed to proceed. I actually think they will be allowed to proceed. Hold on, you guys. We're getting a little bit more into the case law and then we'll get into the receipts, okay? They said the applicability of state law in federal cases. Federal courts often apply state substantial law. I just read you second court appellate in cases brought under diversity jurisdiction or involving state law claims such as negligence. Thus, the reasoning from Pasula, which relies on New York state law, could be persuasive in federal court for similar claims. The Pasula decision, particularly its interpretation of the Child Victims Act, could help guide federal courts addressing claims of childhood sexual abuse under New York law. For instance, federal judges may rely on Pasula's approach to approximate dates, considering motions to dismiss for insufficient pleading of specific dates. Now, the law nerds, tattletales, y'all just went crazy over that, okay? But there's more. The federal pleading standards, that's Twombly versus Iqbal, plausibility standard, Pelosi's emphasis on leniency for survivors unable to provide exact dates due to trauma could be persuasive in addressing arguments that the plaintiff's allegations are too vague to meet federal pleading standards. This aligns with the broader principle of accommodating survivors' challenges and recalling specifics and dates. Again, it's persuasive for minors and for neurodivergent or people with special needs. This woman, the Jane Doe, actually happens to be both. So why is this relevant? Why could this be the thing to actually fix everything? Anyway, I keep going with persuasive value. I'll come back to that in a different video because I know y'all want to get to the goods and I'm getting impatient now, right? Now, what they can do, they can also add in supporting expert testimony. I know what y'all saying, but Tisa, where's the MFN receipts? Just to recap, federal court, PSULA could serve as a pervasive precedent for justifying leniency and requiring precise dates for long past abuse claims. Much like this young woman, PSULA's claims happened 20, 30 years ago, emphasizing the unique challenges survivors face under statutes like the CBA and supporting arguments about equitable tolling and accommodation for survivors with mental impairments, okay? While it would not bind federal courts, to be fair, its logic and principles could influence rulings, especially where federal judges must interpret New York law or analogous legal frameworks. This is analogous in legal frameworks. So let's get into this. So then I started thinking, okay, because the girl had so much detail, right? The VMAs, she was specific about being dropped off in New York at Radio City Music Hall. So I did some research and I said, when were the VMAs held at, give me all the years that the VMAs were held at Radio City Music Hall. And guess what I found, right? I found that they were held at 2003 at Radio Music City Hall. I said, oh, that's interesting. So I kept digging. I kept digging. I said, when were they held? In the media, when? In the year? Because you know I love unnecessary data. So I said they were held August 28th, 2003 at the Radio City Music Hall. As a matter of fact, Chris Rock, pre-Will Smith slapping the mess out of him, was actually hosting. Do you know, now this was in August. And I said, well, you look at this. Now, this isn't the music award show. But I said, well, you look at this. Jay-Z and Diddy were rolling hard in August 2003. Here they are at the White Party in the Hamptons, August 2003. Again, the VMAs were at the Radio City Music Hall. Please suspend belief until we get into the receipts, right? Remember how Diddy's team kept saying, right? And also Jay-Z and everybody. There wasn't even an after party in 2000 that Diddy hosted. So what is she talking about? Well, if NBC had done an MFing job instead of doing a hit piece, in my opinion, with a woman on the autistic spectrum, all you would have to do is Google and say, it wasn't 2000. They got the dates wrong. It was 2003 when this all happened. And Pelusa, whatever the case with the archdiocese, romance. Remember the driveway. Hold on, y'all, because we got to talk. Remember? Oh, hold on, I got to get comfy. Sorry, I don't want to. Let's see. Okay. So remember when the girl said that she drove about 20 minutes to this house with a huge, it looked like it was white. Again, she was a kid. It was many years ago. When light casts its stuff on houses, it has a tendency to maybe make them look white. Or maybe in a child's memory, since everybody was dressed in white and it's all decked out. I don't know. The point is, I was looking and I was like, why is everybody on Twitter pulling up pictures of Diddy's Manhattan residence? Because I remember when he sold that residence. And I said, was there ever any chance that Diddy rented, lived, or had a place in New Jersey? You know what I found out? 9 years later, this was an article from 2016. Diddy finally sells his sprawling Alpine, New Jersey estate. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if I can draw your attention to the shape of the driveway. Let's not forget that Diddy didn't like having freak-offs in his home. Diddy's place of residence was a penthouse. In the federal government papers and also in Cassie's lawsuit, they all said that Diddy rented out, and Meek Mill's birthday, he rented out homes. He kept homes only for freak-offs. He would go to hotels if he couldn't go. He didn't like that nasty stuff happening in his house. And I know what y'all saying, but he said he had alleged freak-offs in his Miami home. Nah. Diddy had two homes. One was for freaking. One was for sleeping. Star Island Mansion 1 and 2, which were right next to each other. One specifically was used for freak-offs, and the other one is where his family stayed. Okay? The other one is where his family stayed. This is his New Jersey mansion. Not many people know about this New Jersey mansion. Why is that? Because it seems that it was only used for special events, special parties, if you will, special freak-offs. People are saying that Diddy used for possible freak-offs timed with huge events that happened in New York City, because it was right over the tunnel. Just like the LA home was used allegedly. I don't actually know what happened, but again, I actually don't know what happened in LA home, so we'll just move past that, right? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if I can draw your attention to this round driveway, does this not look like what a possible 13 to 16-year-old, or actually if it's 3 years, depending on where her birthday falls, 13 to 15 or 16-year-old girl might see as pulling up into a huge round driveway? Is it not in Jersey, as she said? Did Diddy not own this house and he just sold it in 2016? This house in Alpine, New Jersey is a very rarefied air. Mary J. Blige, Fabulous. A lot of people in the entertainment industry actually own houses. It is in a part of Bergen County. Again, it seems like even off of an internet search, somebody tell Tony Buzzbee to wake the F up, or not even him, his research assistant, right? Does it not, hold on really quickly, you guys, 1 second. Sorry, guys. Okay. Let me get back to yelling. Does not look like the driveway and the house that the girl described from 30 years ago? Does it not? Bergen County, close to Manhattan, blah, 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 blah. On top of this, let us remember one thing from NBC's hit piece on a mentally, in my opinion, I'm not saying that they meant to do it, but it looked like a hit piece to me, on a mentally disabled woman that was doing her best to be brave and saying, you have to tell the truth. It really broke my heart. I don't play about people playing with people with disabilities. Like, literally, we got to stop this ableist society. Anyway, right? So, remember when she said that at the time of 2000, we looked into it and their registered address in 2000 was Rochester, and that's a 5-hour drive, right? Where was their registered address in 2000? No, I'm really asking. I don't know. But where was their registered address in 2000? Were they still living in Rochester, New York, 5 hours away? And even if they were living in Rochester, New York, the NBC never did any follow-ups. They never told us what she said, why the friend drove her down, where the friend went afterwards, or even anything with her dad. Again, he said he doesn't remember 2000, right? Does he remember 2003? Does he? Is her dad the ops? Now, in the article, it also said that her dad, they still have arguments this day, because during that time period in her dad's life, there were whole months and years her dad couldn't remember. To me, it hinted, does her dad also have cognitive decline? Was he dealing with issues? Even now, how old is your daddy? Does he have dementia? Like, NBC News did not give us any of that. And I know what you're saying, oh, they should have. But if somebody is low down enough, in my opinion, to literally play gotcha with a mentally impaired woman, and by the way, Tony Buzzbee, you need your butt whooped for sitting your client down in front of NBC News and letting them rip her apart like that. Okay, at the end of the day, if I was a lawyer, I would have took the advantage because maybe we are playing to win. But Tony Busby actually should have protected her. Okay, it slipped through the cracks somehow, but it shouldn't have. So anyway, was she still living in Rochester, New York in 2003? Because if she wasn't and she moved closer to New York, that means it's no longer a 5 hour ride. It might be a 2 hour, it might be a 1 hour, baby. It might be a 30-minute ride. Now ask the dad, do you remember from 30 years ago picking your daughter up from a gas station in Alpine, New Jersey? Now, just to let you guys know, hold on a second. I have the exact address of the house. It's well, I don't want to put it up there because other people live in there now. So I don't want to dox um anybody's address. So I can't really show you. But when you look at where the address was, um, there are a lot. And when I say lot, I mean a lot of gas stations that are close by, that if somebody was running from the house, they could reach and they could ask an attendant for their dad or whoever to come and get picked up. So what do we have here? They go through Diddy's sprawling estate. Um, it's a small borough. It's a small borough in Bergen County. That's where all the Real Housewives live. It's become a haven for numerous celebrities: Chris Rock, Little Kim, Mary J. Blige, and Fabulous, all called Alpine their home at one point. Now, I took the liberty because actually, that's one thing I forgot to Google. Hold on. 1 second. Where was Diddy's 2003 VMA after party held at? Where was the actual venue? You see how easy this research is? Um, oh, look at this. So they said one notable event was Sean P. Diddy Combs' after party, which featured elaborate entertainment, including acrobats and dancers. However, specific details about the venue for P. Diddy's 2003 VMA after party are not readily available. Needless to say, it does not look like he had it at a club. I actually mapped Radio City Music Hall from Diddy's Bergen County address. I don't want to put the address on the screen and dox anybody. However, it is about 37 minutes. Now, to a child that has stars in her eyes, and she thinks, hey, pumpkin, she thinks that she's actually going to, a 13 or 16-year-old, I'm going to marry Pete Diddy and he's going to see my dance moves. And, Diddy's going to be like, come on, Jane Doe, serve them fools. And it's going to be like the Proud Family. You know the way 13-year-olds are. She literally thought she was going to put on some, I don't know, Britney Spears fantasy perfume, and Diddy was going to lock eyes with her, and she was going to be Mrs. Diddy. 13-year-olds, again, they make bad decisions. That is their job description. The parents' job description is to protect them from their bad things. Again, 20 minutes, maybe it was 36 minutes, okay? The point of the matter is there also might have been an after party at the club, and then he took it to his house, or he had the party at his house, okay? But it's 36 minutes. Again, she said about 20 minutes. It was 20 years ago. Maybe time flew by because she was super, super, super excited. Now, what Diddy's driver bring him a 13-year-old? I don't know. But we see Diddy literally acting crazy and stupid, sipping on a drink, laughing while he's walking up to a 13-year-old actress with his D swinging, trying to get her to come to the after party. Again, we see motive, we see opportunity. But let's just continue past that. On top of that, the last thing I want to bring, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I want to call a one Denzel Washington to the stand. Remember, yes, my mind remembers everything. And yes, my man hated, but oh well, it keeps him honest, right? Remember that article that I thought was odd? When Denzel Washington finally admitted that he confronted Sean Diddy Combs and stormed out after an all-night party in 2003. This was printed October 2nd, 2024, but it was all over the media. And I did a little digging. And netizens, the girlies were saying that this party that Denzel stormed out of because him and his wife were so disgusted by what they saw. It also happened in 2003. And many people are saying it happened in August. And many people are saying that this was the VMA after party. Denzel Washington once stood up to Sean Diddy Combs after an all-night party in 2003. A source who was friendly with Diddy in the early 2000s exclusively shared in the latest issue of US Weekly that the Oscar winner Washington 69 and the music mogul got into it during an all-night gathering. The VMA after parties, a freak off, if you will. Denzel screamed, "You don't respect anyone." The incident ended in Denzel Washington storming out. Denzel and his wife Pauletta had been partying until dawn with Diddy, and they had seen something and stormed out. US Weekly reached out to Denzel Washington and Diddy's rep for comment. At the time of this time, I don't think anybody actually got back to them with comment. Oh, but there are more. Now, while this is another article. While this is about the same argument. While this doesn't necessarily mean the two have a long-standing beef, this alleged incident would lend further credence to the American gangster star's previous assertions as to why he famously does not indulge in the industry's proclivities for partying and debauchery. Oh, don't worry, you guys. Let me just finish. I said if y'all let me cook, I would give you. Denzel always told me when we be at parties, you leave 30 minutes before the devil get here, okay? Always remember that Denzel would leave the parties early and I followed Denzel out. It's not over. Hold on. So in any case, you guys, let's get back to this about the case moving forward and all the dummies online literally willing to let Diddy off the hook, to go after and literally rip apart a woman with autism, with cognitive disabilities, that is doing her best to bravely come forward. Who, if NBC News and mainstream media were and do the Buzzbee law firm, were doing them MFing job, instead of being so quick to expose this brave woman as a liar, why didn't you actually look and see, was there any universe that her story could be true? Because there is a universe. It's called 2003 VMAs. The location's the same. The after party she said happened was there. The Eminem performing on the concert on the street was there. We have Good Charlotte was there. We have Diddy talking trash to a 13-year-old girl on camera looking creepy AF. We have Jay-Z there. We have Jay-Z performed on stage, right? And again, let me just be clear, because I don't want no problems with Alex Sparrow. We're going to see what happens in the Jay-Z case, okay? We are going to see what happens in the Jay-Z case, but I'm saying, Diddy, your MFing self, let me stop cursing before my mom and dad start texting me. Your goose is cooked because, baby, I got your number. I spent 5 hours researching this. I knew it, right? So anyway, right? So what do we have? We got Good Charlotte. We got a VMA Awards. We got a VMA Awards at Radio City Music Hall. We got a VMA after party hosted by Diddy, right? We got Jay-Z performing, okay? We got Good Charlotte was at Diddy's VMA after party. It was the official one. Everybody went there. I'm willing to bet in 2003, Jay-Z went to the after party too. But listen, I don't want no problems with Alex Sparrow. I don't know that to be true or not. So I was busy getting Diddy, okay? Y'all can do Google searches to see if you find Jay-Z on Getty Images, right? We have Diddy being creepy to a 13-year-old. We have a Jersey place close to Manhattan that had a round circular driveway, okay? We have, right? What did she say? It was round circular. She remembered it being all white. Maybe in her childhood excitement and with the memory with all the lights splashing up on it, it looked like it was white, but the lights just washed everything out and she was blinded by the things. So when she said she was talking to Benji Madden and saw the tattoos and she said that he has like a mother thing, was she lying? I don't think so. Because if it was 2003, she could easily be there. Now, I know what you guys are saying. Oh, but the dates are off. Guess what? New York's second appellate already said, thanks to that archdiocese case, thank you, Mark Agnifilio, Yana, because for some reason, that little quip about him being a choir boy was in the back of my mind. And I said, what is that case with archdiocese that reminds me of this Diddy case that actually could be persuasive law? Okay. Found the case. Palusa, whatever, right? The archdiocese case clearly said in the second appellate court that when a child is a victim of something traumatic, even if they give the wrong dates, the court will provide leniency due to the nature of traumatic events in a child's mind. However, Palusa was actually really transformative because people also applied it to people with cognitive decline, with people with special needs. They applied it because if a child could be wrong, and we still know, okay, well, you're a child, like I get it, the trauma you don't remember, and it happened like 20 years ago, much like Palusa, then for somebody with special needs or cognitive impairments, we will apply that same standard. It doesn't need to be exact. It can be a range of years, up to 4 years. Isn't that funny? 2000, 2003. This girl has mental cognitive impairments. She also was a child. In the lawsuit, she says she is traumatized. She shakes. She does this. So we got the round driveway. We got everything she said happened, only it happened in 2003. We have Diddy macking to a 13-year-old on camera. So again, motive, Your Honor, motive. He's at the scene of everybody's at the scene of the crime. Everybody's at the scene of the crime. So I ask you, this case is moving forward. Diddy, you ain't getting off. And Mark Agnifilio, Yana, there is no way in tarnation that you are going to use this for a stronger bail bid. I know he denied his bail bid, but I know he's going to be back in like a month or two. Once you think Jay-Z and Alex Sparrow are going to get this case thrown out because it's not plausible, the only thing that's not plausible is that a mainstream legacy network did a hit piece, in my opinion, on a mentally disabled woman, when all they had to do was just look a little bit to the left, but they were so busy trying to prove that she was lying, that they didn't try to do their job as journalists and see, well, is there any way that she could be telling the truth? Because when I hear victims say something, I don't care. When I hear victims say something, I try to see, is there any measure in this earth that the victim can be telling the truth? Because if she did, what she is alleging is horrific. So I need to make sure there's no possible way she could be telling the truth. If you had just looked from 2000, 2003, it would have been there. Instead, this woman's name is being tarnished. It's being dragged over the internet. Everybody's really saying, oh my God, now Diddy's going to go free. They're all lies. It's not all lies. It was just stupid, shoddy investigative work. But don't worry, y'all. It's Saturday. My man was out with friends. I had this. I had time. I had time. So I actually clocked in. You guys, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? The receipts is there. The receipts are there, right? The receipt. Listen, I know the Alpine. Let me get to the bottom of this. I know the Alpine Mansion was purchased in 2004. But again, and this is where the lawyers clock in, the Alpine Mansion was purchased in 2004. However, the internet is saying that Diddy had use of that mansion. I don't know if he was renting it and then he decided to buy when it went on the market. However, Diddy had access to that mansion or some mansion in Bergen County, all right, in 2003. Again, this is my research. I could be wrong, but baby, the receipts are there. The receipts are there. Now, here's the thing. Somebody says, Cherie said, is the father's memory off too? He couldn't remember driving 5 hours to pick up his autistic child, innocent until proven guilty. Okay, that's a good point. But this is what I'm saying, dummy. Not you, dummy, but I'm talking about the people that didn't do the research. They were living in Rochester in 2003. NBC News never bothered to ask them where they were living they were living in Rochester in 2000. NBC News never bothered to ask them, right? never bothered to ask them where they were living in 2003. Now, I don't know about y'all, but unless they own that home, most people that rent, they usually move around every year, every 2 years. We don't know where they were living in 2003. They could have been living closer to the city. Also, I would just say, as the father thing, I admit it is very, very disturbing. But at the end of the day, this is for the jury to decide, not the court of public opinion. My point is to tell you that there is enough proof that that girl has receipts and for this case to move forward. It cannot be dismissed based off of what is going on in the blogs. Again, me, the guy, if I was a lawyer in court, one, the father that said, I don't remember that. Do you have any cognitive decline? Do you have any issues of substance abuse? Are you on substance abuse right now? Is there any alcoholism, drug abuse? How is your memory? I would start quizzing them. How is your memory? First of all, how is the memory? They're asking the father now, how old is the father? Is he 95? Is he 85? Does he have dementia? Is he? I'm not saying he is any of this. Does he have any issues with substance abuse? Okay, let's get past that. Does he have any cognitive decline? No, because here's the thing. You just can't take a statement from somebody out in the yonder and be like, oh, okay, right? You don't, okay? Unlike NBC News, I did my research and I will address whatever the naysayers are saying. And again, let me just say this, you guys. This is my research. You don't got to believe me. I'm not trying to change your mind. I am just saying that there is a world where what she said Diddy did to her actually happened. And this is a different world than last night when everybody was saying it couldn't happen. It was all made up. Good Charlotte. Yeah, just move it over. Again, there's a precedence that survivors of abuse can be off by years, especially when they are children or they have impairments. Now, let's get back to the father. If I was a lawyer, how would I approach this? Does the father have any issues with substance abuse, alcoholism? Does he have any issues with mental decline? Yes or no? Okay. Let's go back to 2000, 2003. You don't remember picking her up in 2000. Where were you living in 2003? Were you living closer to Manhattan? Do you ever remember? That's what I would have asked. Do you ever remember picking her up in Manhattan? You do? What year was that? You don't? Okay, that's an important piece of evidence. Again, in court, you literally battle out. When it comes to victims of abuse, it is never clean cut. It's never clean cut. You're not going to get the perfect victim. And I find it odd that people are taking someone who clearly has mental disabilities and you are expecting her to be sharper than than a regular victim of sexual abuse. Ask not regular, I'm sorry, but then another person. Ask someone who doesn't have a mental cognitive issues. Like what happened during a traumatic time. They can't even remember it exactly. So to take someone that already has and try to hold her not even to the same standard, but to a higher standard than the average person has to, I think is wrong. But let's get back to that because y'all want to talk about it. Let's get back to the father. Where was I? Do you have a history of, okay, so are you currently any addiction, any alcoholism? Have you had any injuries to the brain? Do you have any cognitive impairment? Do you have Alzheimer's, dementia, anything? No? Okay, right? Let's go back to 2000, 2003. Do you remember picking your daughter up in 2003, right? In New York. I mean, yeah, picking her up, not in New York, New Jersey, in 2003. No? Do you ever remember picking your daughter up in New York or the New Jersey area? Yes or no? Second of all, in that article, the girl said, my father, I believe, let me pull up the exact statement because it's actually a really powerful one. And I think everybody is actually skipping over this. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. My father. Where's it at? Where is it at? I'm looking for the article. Give me 1 second. Who did this? Chloe Mealis, Janelle Griffith, and Maite Amarbieta. You guys did this to somebody with cognitive impairment. Again, I get it. But Tony Buzzbee, Wow. Anyway, she said, hold on. I'm skimming through because I want to read this to you. Where's the rest of it? Where is there in any bit? Blah, 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 blah. 1 second. You always fight for what happened to you. Da, 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 blah, blah, blah. You can't let it run your life. She didn't have lemon drivers, break, blah, blah, blah. I'd like to. I'm talking to like Fred Durst, Benji Madden about his tattoo because it's not, again, if it's 2003, she 100% was talking to, she could have 100% been talking to Benji Madden and Fred Durst, but let's get into this. Blah, 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 blah. She ran to a gas station. I don't want to give the address to that house or even any house in Bergen. But again, for you guys to say that he bought it in 2004, the evidence suggests, and again, this will be hashed out in court, that he still had access to that house. He only decided to purchase it in 2004. Let's not forget, this wasn't his primary residence. This was his freak off residence house. And oddly enough, nobody ever saw Diddy in MTV Cribs and this and that. He basically kept this house kind of secret. Again, in 2003, Bergen County, round driveway, house had access to. Again, I'm not asking you guys to believe me. I'm just giving y'all my evidence. Y'all can take it for what it was. We can have a Nancy Drew thing. Y'all can all do this. Get this. She said, I was upset, and the person at the gas station could tell I was obviously upset, and she let me use the phone. I called my dad because he was the only person I trusted at the time. I told him I messed up and I needed a ride home. We rode home in silence. He didn't ask me what happened. He didn't ask me what I did or where I was. She never told anyone about the alleged assault. She said, even if somebody found out, who was going to believe me? Blah, 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 blah. She has 2 children. She's not a devout Christian. And she has a applied behavior analysis. Her father told NBC News that he does not recall picking her up after the alleged attack, casting doubt on a key detail on her lawsuit. Again, the fact that they didn't show us the interview, the correct thing, instead of, because hit pieces happen all the time, it's to ask, what question did you ask? Did you say, do you remember picking your daughter up in 2000 at a gas station? Or did you say, do you ever remember picking your daughter up in the New York area? Not that date, but do you ever remember? That's a correct question. Now, if he says, I never remember, okay, then we revert back to like, was you high? Anyway, right? They said, now get this. NBC also has an additional thing that I thought was interesting. According to their address at the time, her father would have driven more than 5 hours from their home to the pickup. Yeah, at the time of 2000, what was her address in 2003? I've moved houses in 3 years. If I wasn't owning, what was her address in 2003? He says, I feel like I would remember that, and I don't, right? I have a lot going on. This is what he says. I have a lot going on, but I mean, that's something that would definitely stick in my mind. The woman's father, who said he learned about the alleged lawsuit this week, added that he did remember once picking her up in the middle of the night, but that was a local drive. Again, what year was the local drive? What year was the local drive? Again, you ain't got to believe me. I'm just giving receipts. Okay. Also, listen, asked about her father's account in the follow-up interview on Friday, the woman said she stood by her claim that he had picked her up and that it's possible he misremembered. Listen to what she said. There are lots of things, and this is the stuff that we argue about constantly. Something he said or did back in New York around that time period, he just doesn't remember. It actually causes a lot of fights sometimes in the household. Does that not sound like she is implying her dad has some type of mental decline? Notice how she said around New York. To me, it gives the impression that her father either was dealing with something back then that took out whole swaths of his memory, or 2, her father now is dealing with something that took out parts of his memory. Again, her dad said, I'm dealing with a lot right now, but I think I would have remembered. Regardless, listen, regardless of her father's recollections, Tony Buzzbee said, "We agree he states he doesn't remember." His daughter explains that he is in no state to remember that. I'm sorry. His daughter explained to you, which NBC somehow forgot to say that and they just skimmed over it. His daughter explains that he was in no state to remember during that point in time due to personal issues he was having then. We're talking about a time frame of more than 20 minutes. Y'all better stop MF and playing with. What about the father? What about that? Guilty until proven innocent. Shut your dumb ass up. Literally, it is honestly innocent until proven guilty. I apologize for calling you a dumbass, right? It just rolls off the tongue. Sorry. But I apologize. No disrespect. But at the end of the day, if you actually move past and if NBC had asked follow-up questions, the holes in this story, when you add in 2003, all of a sudden the holes are filled up. That gap of her dad not remembering, right? First of all, where were they living in 2003? Were they living closer to New York or not? Also, we agree he states he doesn't remember. His daughter explains, which NBC didn't bother to tell us. Let's not forget NBC, NBC Universal, Comcast, Disney. Let's also not forget the Super Bowl, NFL, Tidal. Let's also not forget all the stuff. Now, let me be clear, because I don't want no problems with the legal mastermind, Alex Spiro. I am not at all saying that Jay-Z did any of all those awful things to that girl, okay? Two things can be true at the same time. Jay-Z did not grape that girl, and that girl 100% was at Diddy's VMA freak off, was given a drink, because we all know that Diddy loves slipping things in people's drinks, according to the victims, right? From Little Rod on down. He's not a victim, but get it. But y'all get what I'm saying. That he loves doing this. She had to sign an NDA. She entered. She was given a drink to get her loose, right? Ain't my fault that I'm out here getting loose, right? She was wandering around. Now, whether or not Jay-Z actually was in that room, Tony Buzzbee, he better take this. Well, I don't know if this case is. Listen, whether or not Jay-Z is released from the claims, that's for Tony Buzzbee whenever he puts down his margarita to do it. But Diddy, no. You must be crazy if you think you're going to hide under Jay-Z's skirt and just skip on out of there. Get yourself back in here and get back to literally mentally abusing the rats and roaches in your jail cell. That's all I'm saying. So when everybody is asking about the dad's recollection, perhaps the obviousness was hidden in an article that nobody wanted to read. They just wanted to go on Twitter and proclaim that Diddy had been set up. Again, his daughter explains, but NBC did not put that part in their thing, that he was in no state to remember during that point in time due to personal issues he was having then. We're talking about a time frame more than 20 years ago. The girl says there are a lot of things, and this is the stuff we argue about constantly, something he said or did back in New York. So it applies that in 2003, they lived closer to New York. Maybe they even lived in New York. Did NBC ask her that? No, because they didn't do shit. They left it to the YouTubers to do investigation. And by YouTubers, I mean me, right? That he did back in New York around that time period. He just doesn't remember. It actually causes a lot of fights. And to his point, he said, I feel like I remember that, but I don't. I had a lot going on, but I mean, that's something that would have definitely stuck in my mind. Y'all, what y'all think? What y'all think? What y'all think? We got motive. We got motive. We got opportunity. We got motive. We got opportunity. And we got the perp at the scene of the crime. What y'all think? Y'all think this is enough for the case to move forward? I do. Y'all think that Diddy is probably punching the air? But y'all can thank me later. You see what me being bored on a Saturday left to my own devices will do? You see what me being bored and left to my own devices will do. Hold on, I'm about to jump into the comments really quick, but let me just read these super chats, and then we're going to get back into the PowerPoint presentation. Cooking Edibles Dragon, thank you so much for becoming a member. Listen, I do gossip and snark, and I love a good celebrity takedown, funny one like everyone else. But baby, at my heart, I will literally put on my Nancy Drew would it do investigation and actually figure out what's going on. And again, for anybody who thinks that this is like some secret anything, and how would NBC know? I figured it out with 4.5 hours on my own board and just thinking, why are they harassing that girl that got cognitive issues? This is actually really, really mean. Why would they do this? Right? So I don't see how NBC News didn't bother to ask follow-up questions or expand any possible defenses that she might have had. Anyway, right? We found some glaring errors. Did you? Moon McDaniels, listen, you Moon McDaniels, thank you for being a member for 19 months, Moon. She said, Yana, my client is guilty. Yana. Kawana Taemba said, on the other point is trauma and addiction causes arrested development. Thank you, Kitwana. You are 100% right. Elizabeth Fuller, thank you so much for the super sticker. Susan, thank you for the super sticker. Tosha Smith, nice job. Oh, thank you, Tosha. Look at you looking cute as a button. Yo, the people have spoken. Diddy, get yourself back in that jail cell. You are going nowhere, not on my watch. There's too many people. And if you think you are going to escape because of the work, and I will say, Alex Spiro clocked into work. Because of the legal mastermind work Alex Spiro did, you think you're going to escape? Get yourself back in that jail, Diddy. Nice, please. Anyway, Joyful T Spikes, thank you so much. You said good work, T. Oh, I love your Abby, Joyful. That color looks really pretty on you. Just Hope won. And I love the bang and the bob. Said, wow, get them, baby girl. Y'all know that during the pandemic, I ordered like a bang wig. Just Hope, you look gorgeous in a wig. I ordered a black bang wig. It literally, some people can wear bangs like you can, Just Hope, and some people can't. And I'm one of those people that can't. Mama too, thank you so much for being the super sticker. Ray Alexander said, protect Tisa at all costs. Lord Racer, thank you for being a member for 6 months. You guys, I'm almost done with the super chats, and then we're going to go to the chat and see what y'all talking about. Tasha Inspire said, Tisa, I pray that you send this info to Buzzbee for real, for real. Someone, I don't even know how to get in touch with Buzzbee. Someone send this message to Buzzbee. Wake up his paralegal. Buzzbee is literally doing the cha-cha or whatever. Come on, baby. Do that cha-cha all off in Mexico. I can't believe I had to clock in and vet a case that 2 law firms didn't bother to vet. 2000, 2003. You had the second appellate. Case. The second appellate of New York State said that will be applied as persuasive in the federal government. If you don't clock in, God. Anyway, I do everything myself. Anyway, D, you said, thank you for sticking up for victims. Let me tell y'all something. I'm always going to stick up for victims. And if that victim appears also to have some cognitive, they are the most vulnerable of our society. If you actually read up on what happens to women and men with cognitive disabilities, especially when they're very childlike, it is gruesome. It is horrific, and it shows the worst of humanity. Again, that doesn't mean, let me just say, because Diddy maintains his innocence, and to his point with Alex Spiro, right? Jay-Z thinks he got enough that he's going to walk away. This isn't about whether Jay-Z's innocent or guilty. Do you hear that, Alex Spiro? This is not about whether Jay-Z is innocent or guilty. This is about the Diddy's going nowhere, but it's also about the fact that there is enough evidence in this case. If you apply second appellate binding law to be used persuasively in federal jurisdiction, there is enough proof and evidence that the timeline the courts have and also the New York law runs analogous to the federal state. So in times where they don't know what to do, they can look to the state law for guidance. This is the end. There is more than enough more than enough evidence for the case to move forward against Diddy. Again, Alex, you might have to see what's going on with Jay-Z, but I'm just saying, right? Nicole Angel, thank you so much for the super chat. Kelly Rivers, thank you so much for becoming a member. Gifty Sinai said, the girl would be 16 years old if it was 2003, not 13 years. And you're right. Is it are 16-year-olds on your chopping block? I'm confused. Gifty Sinai said the girl would be 16 years old if it was 2003, not 13 years. Okay, she's still a minor. You still going to jail. Was that like, I'm confused. I get your point. You are 100% right. And also in 2003, you don't know that girl's birthday. The MTV Music Awards happened in August. That girl could have been 15 if her birthday was in December or September or October or November. So the girl was 15 at the youngest, 16 at the oldest. But I believe I often don't have to ask this because I believe anybody under a certain age is a child. But what is the age of consent in New York State and New York City? I would assume they're the same, but what is it? The age of consent in New York, including New York City, is 17 years old. So thank you, Bo Giffy. Thank you for the super chat, 100%. But it's still a minor in the eyes of law. You still going to jail. It's still statutory rape per se. So don't matter if she was 13, 14, 15, or 16. As long as she wasn't 17, them the breaks. Anyway, Jonas Bellino said, wow, amazing work, Tisa, with all the receipts. You are the Aaron Brockovich of YouTube. Hold on, let me get my tata sitting up. Remember Aaron Brockovich came walking in? Excuse me, could you just let me know what that file is right there? Anyway, right? Karina said, Tisa, girl, you be grinding. I love your energy. Thank you, Karina. Yo, I love you guys. It's Abby. KG said, for all we know, the father and daughter are estranged and someone paid the dad to forget, allegedly. I don't even think, and this is a good point, KG, right? But I don't even think we need to go into somebody was paid off. The father, the daughter, and the lawyer all acknowledge that he was going through a lot of his own personal issues at that time, and he does not remember things from that period. Again, is it addiction? Is it mental impairment? Was it an injury? Was it a breakdown? Was it PTSD? Was it stress at work? These are the things that NBC News should have addressed before they leaked an article that completely discredited a woman who said that she had been viciously raped. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Does that mean that she's telling the truth? I don't know. That's for the jury, right? Y'all talking about guilt, innocent till proven guilty. All right. Well, it's for the jury to decide. I am telling you what I found. I'm telling you what makes sense to me and what doesn't make sense. And I hope you guys do your own research. Like I said in my channel, I give my opinion. I give my special speculation. I give my snarky comments. I give my comedy. And when I'm in my bag, I give my investigation. But you have to realize in this new age of technology, you guys have to remember, trust no one. Don't even trust me. Listen to everything like I do, but bet everything everybody says. You have to do your own research. You can't. You look at like legacy media, right? It's a toss-up. Can you trust them or not? Listen, take everything in, but vet everything thoroughly. As much as people said that Buzzbee's office didn't vet, somebody wake Buzzbee's ass up, right? And the other lawyers didn't vet, but neither did NBC News. And NBC News was supposed to be an impartial and bring us something. And that's why it went all over Twitter, because everybody assumed NBC News vetted because they're a trusted news source. And I'm not saying that not to trust NBC News. I'm just saying that in this new thing where almost everything is motivated by money, and as much as people want to say YouTubers, TikTokers are doing it for clicks and views, one of the reasons that mainstream, forget about even news media, but all of the cable, all of the network TVs, everyone, it is all profit driven. So honestly, you have to do your own vetting. because you don't know who's cutting the paychecks and you don't know what they're willing to do for $1 and you truly don't know anybody's motivations. So the same way you will take what you hear on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram for grain of salt, that's great. I don't care. My work speaks for itself. Believe me, don't. Baby, I do it for the people. I do it for the girlies and the gays. Wait, I do it for the girls and the gays. It's it. The kids and they loving my shit. What's the thing with I do it for the girlies and I do it for the girlies and the gays, that's it. The kids is they loving my shit. I can't remember that. Those would have been bars if I remember. Oh wait, let's drop some other bars. Just remember, guys. Hold on. I gotta do this. Hold on. I'm dying. This is my shit. Just remember, guys, we don't fight for victory. We fight from victory. Y'all, I've been reading that I've been reading that all day. Jay-Z really thought he dropped. He's like, we don't fight from victory. No, we don't fight for victory. We fight from victory. But if you're fighting from victory, then that means you're fighting for another victory. So you are fighting for victory. Anyway, that's just me being a stickler, right? You can tell by my PowerPoint presentation, I'm a stickler. But I say all this to say, in the new media, take everything with a grain of salt. Literally, listen to everything, vet everything thoroughly, right? You can get your own trusted news sources, but when something's not adding up, the same way y'all challenge me, and I have no problem doing it, like going back and forth with y'all if you challenge me, because at the end of the day, I'm just showing you what I found, and you guys might put me onto something bigger, right? Challenge everything, because if something is true, it'll hold up no matter how much you poke it. It'll hold up no matter how much you poke it, right? Anyway, right? Let's see. But again, I think it's possible the father doesn't remember. And again, I feel some type of way that NBC didn't pursue that, but it will be pursued in court. The issue is whether there is enough evidence based off of current case law to give some type of either precedence or better yet, to be persuasive in saying that these omissions under New York state law and persuasively in federal court is not enough to throw it out. As a matter of fact, they allot for that. She is a protected person. And once you allot for that 3-year split from 2000 to 2003, well, then you see that everything she was saying, down to even Good Charlotte being at the after party, it checks out. Anyway, let's keep going. Abraham Roberts. Abraham said, a girl tried to grape me in high school. Yes, you're reading that right. And I can't tell you all the details, just what room and how I got away. First of all, Abraham, thank you for sharing that. I'm sorry that happened to you. But again, Abraham, you bring up such a good point that a lot of people forget, and that a lot of, I believe, lawyers try to exploit. When you are in a traumatic situation, the same way you were raped, which is, I'm so sorry that it happened, right? But again, you were there, and you can't tell you all the details, just what room it was and how you got away. And for people that can't understand that, think about when you're in an accident and somebody asks you what happened. You think you know, but the more you talk about it, you're like, oh, wait. Think about like when your adrenaline's pumping, when you're in a fight, when this and that. People have when you're nervous, when you're scared, people have their memories fail them. Now imagine being the most scared, nervous, desperate to survive and wanting to get out, and ask yourself how much memory you would actually take. Kitwana, but thank you so much, Abraham, for actually sharing that. And I hope that you found healing to this day. And it's very brave of you to share so that you can also testify to let people know that I have been blessed enough never to be a victim, to have been like victimized, that you, just because you can't say what, oh, I would have, oh, how come? Unless you've been there, you truly don't understand. Kitwana said, I can't imagine that Buzzbee firm will be so sloppy with their case research. Please give them a couple days. They're coming out smashing. I can see that too. Also, who is it? Auntie Penelope said, thank you for being UT. Keep up the good work. Oh, thank you, Auntie Penelope. I love the Abbey. You guys are killing it with the Abbeys. KG said, Tisa, Buzzbee needs to put you on payroll. I think I do okay on YouTube. I'm fine here, having no boss, no nothing. Yeah, y'all know I don't take authority well. Mel Bethel, thank you so much for the super chat. Said, great job, TT. Details of traumatic childhood memories can be flawed due to the brain's response to intense stress, leading to gaps in recalling specific details over time. Thank you, Mel. I love you. Oh, I love your Abby too. Um, anyway, I'm getting texts. I got one boss, my man. You don't run me. Anyway, right? But again, this is directly from the National Institute of Health. Details of traumatic childhood memories can be flawed due to the brain's response to intense stress, leading to gaps in recalling specific details over time. Exactly. D said, crazy how many people are making excuses for Jay-Z, but were quick to crucify Drake with 0 cases. Well, I would like to say I crucified all of them. Praying for the truth to be revealed and for justice. In my defense, I crucified everybody that's accused of anything odd or weird. I guess I am the podcast equivalent to those incels that think every woman's a gold digger. I believe every victim just automatically, right? But I get your point, D. Kosi Joe said, thank you for becoming a member, Kosi. I appreciate that. Maisha, you know the one you so bad. Oh, thank you. Oh, I love you. You guys are coming sexy today. Okay, Maisha. She said, you're so amazing. Amazing job. All right, y'all. Maisha's single. I think. Don't harass her. She has a man. Wyan Joy said the drugs make it a grape, even if she was 18. Exactly. But the fact that she was 16, even if, or 15 to 16, even if she wasn't drugged, it would still be statutory. It would still be statutory. Diane Williams said, awesome reporting once again. T said, thank you for bringing us receipts. Y'all know I couldn't. I was vibrating. I was like, I gotta go live. Okay. Again, Diddy's team can blame my man for leaving me with 4.5 hours to kill. Bored. Couldn't find anything on TV. And both my phones were charged. So I started scrolling. Golden Garden for Emperor Energy said, T-Set investigation. Y'all go together real bad. Keep up the wonderful work. Oh, Garden, thank you. I love your Abby. Y'all, I will say one thing. The titles of the guys and girls, you guys are a beautiful and handsome bunch. Okay. My Abby is like, anyway, Gifty Sanaa said, T said, you cracked the case. You're amazing. Thank you, Gifty. Oh, I was only mentioning her age being 16, not 13, because they're going to try to discredit her about everything. Love your show. Gifty, I'm sorry if it made it seem like I was going in on you. When I'm in my investigation bag, that's where I am. I'm like, okay, and, because I'm ready to debate. I'm in like my debate club bag, but I didn't mean to come at you so aggressive. I apologize if you felt that you had to like reenter. I didn't take it anyway in what you were saying. That's just how me and my family debate. Okay, and what you got? What you got? And, you know, I was treating this like this was a game of Uno. Okay. But yeah, thank you so much, Gifty. I appreciate it. And you're right. They will maybe try to discredit her, but whether she's 16 or 13, the law allows for her memory to be off by, I think, 4 to 6 years. On top of that, or it allows for persuasive argument. On top of that, the age of consent is 17. So still, Diddy, get yourself back in that jail cell, right? Paul Harrison. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Paul Harrison. You said, hey, Tisa, shout out to our beautiful sister Tisa for always bringing us the real. I'm taking it one day at a time. Oh no. It's tough, but God is good. You guys, send some healing energy out to Paul. I was really hoping that your recovery went perfectly seamless. We got to start checking in on you every single live, Paul. You guys, send some healing energy to Paul. He went through something very traumatic a couple months ago, physically, and he has been in recovery. But apparently, wow, one day at a time. God is good. Listen, we'll be praying for you. Definitely. Kosi Joe said, found you last November, Tisa. You've been even more incredible, fun, kind, caring, and amazing today. Oh, thank you. You guys, we're about to get into the comments. I just want to get to the super chats, okay? Seventh Dimension said, Buzzbee's not licensed in New York, and if it happened in Jersey, it would be the venue, the age of consent in New Jersey. So anyway, it doesn't matter if Buzzbee is licensed in New York. Well, just hear me out. It does. But I think it's like Pro Hawk Vici, Pro Hawk Vici. That's basically what you have to do if you have to make an appearance in the court. So if you're not licensed in the court, you need to make an appearance in the court and ask for permission to actually file a case in the court. Okay. Two things about that. You make a good point. One, he is not licensed in New York, but he can make the local council, I believe, is New York based, the local council. And I believe the local council might actually be licensed in the state of New Jersey, but I'm pretty sure the local council is licensed in New York. But even if it's not, I think it's the Pro Hawk Vici, Pro Hawk Vici, I think it is, right? You basically just have to go in front of the judge and say, I would like to make an appearance in court and I would like to represent. And of course, you have local counsel that's holding you down and kind of tagging you in. Even though he signed all himself, at the end of the day, that is just clerical paperwork, right? Two things that can happen. The judge can say that Tony Buzzbee can't represent her, right? And the case can be removed from the court. And Buzzbee, once he makes an appearance and asks for permission to represent her, he can refile the case. Or two, which is usually because justice requires expediency. They don't like stop, go. They want things over with as quick as possible. There is something about expediency. It goes to the court of the Constitution. You can get a judge that's an MFer, that's just like, oh no, you better get this out here. And they make you do everything all over again. Most judges, especially in this case, will make an allowance and give him time to actually do Pro Hoc Vici, which means that he is allowed to enter. So most judges will allow him to enter into the court and ask permission to represent it. So again, I get what they're saying, but that's really just paperwork, procedural. And even at the very worst, if they get an MF judge, it's just like, no, you didn't go, then the case will be dismissed without prejudice. With prejudice means that you can never bring it up again. Without prejudice means that it's dismissed for you to go back and refile it properly. But in most cases, the judge will allow to give you more time for you to make the appearance in the court and make sure your paperwork is okay. Second of all, and this is why Alex Spiro is a legal mastermind, because if the judge does not give you time to make an appearance, or let's just say it does, two things can happen. And I think this is where Alex Spiro comes into being a legal mastermind. While you have to make an appearance in front of the court, they put it on the court date for you to make an appearance in front of the court and be like, Your Honor, I'm representing this client, blah, 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 blah. During that time, you cannot be classified as the counsel. Now, why does this make Alex Spiro a legal mastermind? Because consider this, right? During that time period, your client is without counsel. And if your client is without counsel, that means Alex Spiro can talk directly to this Jane Doe without the lawyer being present, because she has no lawyer, because you're not allowed to practice law in New York. So you can't represent them. Why is that important? Because when you have counsel, you cannot talk to the client directly, because you might try to get them to settle. You might try to get them to say something and trip them up. Alex Spiro can approach the client directly while Tony Buzzbee is trying to get permission to appear in court, right? With a Pro Hoc Vici. Anyway, shut up. My dyslexia is kicking my butt. Anyway, the whole point of the matter is that is actually a brilliant legal move, because if they do decide, yeah, you're not, and you need to come in front of the court and ask permission, during that time, whether it's 3 days, 5 days, 10 days that he gets in front of the court to do that, that woman has no representation, and Alex Spiro can go and approach her and talk to her directly, trip her up, maybe settle, do this thing, and it's perfectly legal. Right now, while she has counsel, he is not allowed to communicate ex parte, which means outside of, what am I saying? He's not allowed to communicate outside of the council. The council must always be present. If you guys don't know, that's why Diddy was denied bail, because he was talking to witnesses that had lawyers, and Diddy knew they had lawyers, and he was still trying to go, and also just being alleged have his lawyers trying to go on the side. That's why he got that witness tampering, because that is illegal for a lawyer. Anyway, oh, also, let's see what hold on. What is the age of consent in New Jersey? Get this. The age of consent must be at least 16 to legally engage in consensual sexual activity. Now, there are a few caveats. First of all, not even Alex Spiro says that New York is an improper venue. I believe Alex Spiro is not saying, because right now Diddy's residence is New York, the MDC. Alex Spiro is not saying that New York is an improper forum, and Tony Buzzbee is not saying that New York is improper forum. So I see what you're saying about if it happened in New Jersey would be the venue. The venue is where somebody resides, right? She resides in Alabama. Diddy resides in New York City at the MDC. So it is proper to bring it in New York. Jersey is, so it can be where either person resides or where the event actually happened. It happened in New Jersey. Diddy resides in New York because he's locked up in federal detention. And she, I believe, lives in Alabama. Between Alabama, New Jersey, and New York, Tony Buzzbee chose New York. Alex Spiro, in his complaint, he's very detailed. He is not challenging proper venue at all. So I do believe that New York is proper venue. So let's talk about the 16-year-old. If one person, close in age exceptions, if one person is 16 or 17 years old, they can legally consent to sexual activity with someone who is not more than 4 years older than them. So already, even though 16 is the age of consent, there are exceptions. A 16-year-old cannot consent to having sex with someone that is older than 20 years old. Diddy was older than 20 years old. There's also another caveat: position of authority or power. If the older individual is in a position of authority, like a teacher, a coach, a guardian, the age of consent is effectively raised to 18 years old in New Jersey, as the younger individual cannot legally consent to these scenarios. Sexting and other activities, even if individuals are above the age of consent, certain actions like sending or receiving explicit photos of someone under 18 can violate. Okay, so fine. The point is, Diddy would be looked at, I would assume, in a position of authority. And New Jersey says that even if 16 is the age of consent, you can only consent to engaging with those activities to a 16, 17, 18, 19, or 20-year-old. So again, I don't think Diddy wants to take this to Jersey, because it's like, damn, double homicide. You got them on the age, and you got them on the position of position of, what do you call it? Position of authority. That's a double homicide. He don't want no parts of Jersey. Listen, let's see. Blah blah blah. Nakia Leach syndrome. Oh wait, are trolls bothering? I'm gonna lock this down to members only. You guys just need to subscribe, right? I'll put this at members only. You guys can just subscribe to I'm sorry, subscribers only. Hold on, let me customize this. If there's a lot of trolls in the chat, we'll do the subscribers. Oh, it's already subscribers only. Okay, well, listen, ignore the trolls. But Nakaya Leach, thank you so much for the super chat. Let me get back in the thing. Lovejoy, thank you so much. You said, Tisa, why don't you have mods? I don't know. I just don't. I mean, the correct question is, How come I don't have a real microphone or a real camera or a real studio? I didn't think mods were a big thing. I mean, come on. You see this thing is being held held together by some gum, shoelace, and some paper clips. I mean, I didn't think it was a big deal. Woo! Listen. Oh, also, shout out to Rim and Bia. Thank you so much, B. And Rim, there are mods. You guys got all the trolls out of there. Thank you so much. Give a shout out to B and to Rim. I gotta get you guys a really good Christmas present this year. Thank you guys. Diddy Truck said, save time and money on your next. Oh, okay. You guys, we are Diddy. Do you know how much it costs to advertise on my channel? But because you sent a super chat, I'm happy to support a business. It's Christmas time. Look at me. My heart just grew 3 times bigger. Diddy Truck said, save time and money on your next truck rental nationwide with Diddy Truck. Diddy Truck is the only platform that allows consumers to do price comparisons on truck rentals from companies like U-Haul, Penske, and Budget. Diddy, that was your Christmas present, right? I appreciate the super chat. Don't try that shit again because I will delete it. But y'all, in case you need anything, Diddy Trucks gotcha. Okay, Triple A said Diddy's 2003 official VMA after party took place in Midtown Manhattan at the club show. It had a burlesque theme and was a huge deal at the time. Thank you. Really quick. Let me just hold on. Hold on. This is important because I think we just cracked another case. This is why I love rocking with y'all because y'all always we be working together. Now listen, let me map the club show because we got to. Let's do a map. Where was club show? Is that even around anymore? What's the thing to this? What's the address of club show? Hold on. Club show, Manhattan. Okay, it's about the same thing. If this is the right thing. Yeah, this is club show in Midtown Manhattan. Okay, so it's still about the same time. The point of the matter is 36 minutes, 20 minutes. I mean, when you're an excited 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old allegedly, we're going to let that rock. Again, a jury will have to decide who's guilty or innocent, but I think there's enough evidence for this case to go on. And I think there's proof that she was actually telling the truth. But thank you so much, Triple A. Infinite Wisdom, thank you so much for becoming a member. Diddy Truck said, my animated pitch deck for Diddy Truck is on YouTube and LinkedIn. All feedback is appreciated. Diddy Truck, because it's Christmas, I'm going to let you advertise and I have to pay the advertising fee. But come on, you pushing that luck. Mel Bethel said, agree, TT. Plus, wouldn't there be a charge for kidnapping a minor in New York and a child across state lines, sex trafficking? This could get even bigger. Exactly. I wonder if the feds are going to get involved. Infinite Wisdom. Oh my God. Thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. And also Abraham Roberts. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I love the Abby Abraham. You bring up a good point. Infinite Wisdom. You guys make sure you thank Infinite Wisdom for gifting. Also, Mel Bethel. Agreed, TT. This wouldn't there be a charge for kidnapping a minor in New York? And moving a child across state lines, sex trafficking. Exactly. I wonder if the feds are going to get involved. I think I'm going to take my PowerPoint presentation and call 1-877-4-HSITIP. Anyway, y'all, listen, let me just jump in really quickly. Is there anything I forgot to talk about? Let's see. Listen. Let's see. Where is it? Yeah. Oh, there we go. Pro Hawk VC. Thank you, Dawn. Pro Hawk VC. Thank you. Lisa said other creators are thinking this case isn't going to go anywhere. It's true or not. That is not true. There's enough for this case to actually move forward, especially with the Diddy thing. Again, I'm not the judge, the jury, or the executioner. I just pretend to be, right? And I will say that, listen, I'm not going to knock what other creators say. They can say and think what they want. I am just telling you, I drop receipts. So again, I'm doing more than saying that because I really enjoyed the Bad Boy reunion show that Diddy could actually go free. You know what I'm saying? Really quick. Thank you, B. Thanks for looking out, B. You know? Anyway, y'all. Again, other greater listen, what again, I gotta tell you guys, I'm giving you guys my opinion. I've given evidence. This case is 100%, I believe, moving forward. But honestly, other creators, and again, this isn't to anyone specific. I don't even want to talk about other creators because there is so much drama not swirling around, but I don't want anyone to be a hit dog and holler. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I think that this is going to move forward. That's it. That's it. Listen, at the end of the day, I stand with the victims. At the end of the day, Alex Sparrow can use his magic on Jay-Z all he wants. At the end of the day, Diddy, you get yourself back in that jail cell because you, my friend, are not going anywhere. And if the lawyers, the paralegals, the NBC investigative report, if they don't want to do it, then maybe I do it myself. Get back in that jail cell, Diddy, and stop playing. Literally. Again, listen. Oh, April said, April, yo, April, you are so, I love your Abby. You are so real for this. April said, time for some ice cream, Tisa. And I was literally just thinking, I deserve some ice cream. I literally am going to eat ice cream after this live. Yo, I found some maple walnut ice cream and I found it's Alex brand. It is maple pecan cardamom ice cream. And I also found blueberry lemon lavender ice cream. Oh, I'm sorry. Honey, blueberry, lemon, lavender. Yes, 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 yes. And pecan, maple, cardamom. Come on now. I'm going through both of those bad boys tonight. Karen C4 at Tisa, if memory serves me correct, a mentally challenged individual cannot give consent. Exactly, Karen. We right here. We right here. That slipped my mind. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, exactly. A mentally challenged individual cannot give consent, especially if they're underage. It's like boom, boom, boom. Yeah, Diddy, nah. YM Joy said, Diddy Truck really trying to get a contract for moving Jay's stuff when Bay puts him out. Listen, we're going to have to see what Alex Sparrows did. He is a legal mastermind. He is working his magic for Jay-Z, but did he? No. And listen, we're going to have to wait to see what happens in the Jay-Z case, even though you know me, I'm going to jump to conclusion, take things and speculate as much as I like. However, I am pretty confident this case is going to move forward. And I, for myself, is my opinion. You don't got to believe me. I don't want to change your mind. I'm just showing you what I found. I believe, like I said, that we found proof that the 13-year-old was telling the truth in Diddy's and Jay-Z's case. I showed you receipts. I showed you new evidence. I showed you proof. We read out the articles. I gave you a PowerPoint. At this point, believe what you want to believe. All right. The only people that matter are the 13 people on the jury. Please let me be on jury duty. Please oh, they probably going to say, could you imagine me sitting there in the court, you know, and Diddy's team, Mark Agnifilo, Yana, we moved to strike the young lady with the boho braids. Yana, the young lady with the boho braids up front. Yana, no, it's a wrap. This Yana, this woman is Tisa. No, Your Honor, she has single-handedly had a campaign, a vendetta, if you will, Your Honor, against my client. And they'll be like, Yana, we moved to strike juror 36 with the boho braids, Yana. Mark Agnifilo. Meanwhile, I'll do it. If I get called up for jury duty, I'm going to be taking the braids out the day before so I can do a fresh slick back and put a 30-inch bust down. They'll be like, who's Tisa? I hate her. Tisa tells, oh my God, I hate that bee. Be right there. I hate her. She's so animated. Does she ever sleep? Oh my God. Y'all will see me. I will do everything I can to be in there. I will truly be the surprise witness. Seven Dimensions said, this is not the criminal case that has him in jail. Seventh Dimension at 100% is the criminal case. It was obstruction of justice on the criminal case that got him in jail. The obstruction of justice charge is linked directly to a criminal case. If you don't have a criminal case going, you can't have obstruction of justice, because what justice is there to obstruct? You can't get obstruction of a civil case. But I see what you're saying. Something's happened. I like your Abby, but the criminal case, the obstruction of justice charge is directly linked to the criminal case. There is no obstruction of justice without an ongoing active criminal investigation, i.e. case. But I don't know. What do I know? I just a YouTuber that eats ice cream all day. Listen, but listen, what do y'all think about the Denzel stuff? Do you think Denzel freaked out at the BMA after party? I mean, he told, at the very least, even if Denzel didn't curse Diddy out at the BMA after party, it was some party. It seems like Diddy was wilding out in 2003, wilding out so much that Denzel and our good sis Miss Pauletta wore out after they saw something that disgusted them. And he said he will never be a part of Hollywood's proclivities. And he hasn't. He hasn't. Jay-Z and Diddy were rolling hard in 2003. He was at the Hamptons white party. He was at the VMAs. I don't know, Alex Sparrow. Was he at the after party? Was he at the show? It's the after party, and after the party, it's the after party, and after the party, it's a hotel lobby, and after the but then it's probably this fiesta. Anyway, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. At the end of the day, Joseph said, where you get intel on that? I got it off of Google. I put the articles up. It's written, just Google these headlines. These are directly from articles. And Denzel, this was all over the media back in October. Everything else I literally got from Google and TikTok. Again, give me 4.5 hours, baby. I will show you the world. Just what you want to know. She cheating on you? She like you? I don't want to be. He cheating on you? He like you? It don't matter. They cheating on you? They like you? They being honest? They being good? They good with their money? They say where they are? Just give me a name. Give me a couple hours. I'll have everything. I'll let you know what their mother did. No. Oh, thank you for pointing something out. Everyone, Celebrity B, I do not believe can be J-Lo. Why? Because J-Lo and Diddy had broken up by that time, and J-Lo may or may not have been filming a movie. She didn't rock the VMA red carpet. I do not believe that Diddy had a date for the VMAs, because every single picture in 2003, because every single picture had him with Jamie Foxx, Ashton Kutcher. Wait. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so my microphone just went dead, and I lost the other one. But Seven bullied me in the comments today, so I ordered a real microphone because that's what you guys want to see. I ordered a real microphone. I do want to actually say this. Can you guys hear me now? Wait, there's still no sound. There should be sound. You guys really can't hear me? I can hear myself. I can hear myself. Okay, you can hear me. All I'm saying is that J-Lo, I could not find any pictures or any reference, right? I don't. Oh, okay. Thank you, Jamie. Thanks, B. So I couldn't find any reference of J-Lo. I do not think that J-Lo is person B. I have reason to believe she may not be person B because I have to get right here because my theme drive, right? So I do not believe that J-Lo is person B. Let me stop being silly. I do not believe that J-Lo is person B because I know I was a mess in school. I do not believe that J-Lo I have reason to believe J-Lo is not person B because J-Lo was working. Her and Diddy had broken up. I did not find any pictures of her on the red carpet, any pictures of her at the after party, and no pictures of her and Diddy together. So whoever celebrity B was, there's a lot of women there. So you can pick from there, but they did say it was a celebrity. Again, we will find out soon enough because I do not think this case is actually getting any thing. Lovely Blouse, thank you so much. Lovely Blouse said, Tisa outstanding. Any thoughts on Maureen Comey who took down Hussein? Oh, lovely Blue Rose. I love your Abby. Any thoughts on Maureen Comey who took down Hussein being added to the Fed? Seems so pretty and joyous. Honestly, yeah, I think Diddy's goose is cooked. It's not just this girl, Maureen Comey. She's definitely on top of her game. I think Diddy's cooked. But also they added on 2 other prosecutors. The case is expanding. And Mark Agnifilio, Yana, he thinks he's so smart because he's thinking he's running out of clock. He said, I'll just make the feds work extra hard, and that way they won't be able to conduct a thorough investigation, and it will increase their chances of trying to get out. The only thing that Mark Agnifilio did not account for is the fact that it's the feds. Baby, if we got less time, let's just do it with more people. They have added, including Maureen Comey, 3 other prosecutors on the case. They are picking up the pace. So it seems like Mark Agnifilio, his angle may not be successful. However, that does remain to be seen. But thank you so much, lovely. Also, really quick. Oh, Paul Harrison. Infinite Wisdom said, thank you, T said, this isn't about proving anyone is guilty. It's about making sure victims have a voice and are not dismissed simply because of who they are accusing. Exactly. And that's what I want everybody to know. This isn't about proving anyone guilty. At the end of the day, this will not be decided in the court of public opinion. It will be decided in a courtroom with jurors, like our great country says, right? But it's about making sure that victims have a voice and cases are not dismissed simply because of who they are accusing. And like I said, if nobody is going to do it, I will do it my goddamn self. But everybody needs to wake up and start researching. Like, Jesus Christ. But, I had time. I put on my Batman mask. Happy Llama 44 said, MSNBC is falling apart. Like all commercial news organizations, scam media. Listen, I mean, I agree. As much as they like to talk trash about YouTube, I really don't see the difference between my favorite YouTube. I mean, I do more like satire, comedy, and investigation, but between my favorite YouTube talking heads to talk about political issues, and I don't see much difference between that and the news media. The only difference is the news media are trying to convince me that they're the only thing. Again, there's a lot of great people that work for MSNBC, and I'm sure Chloe in that game, they did the best they could, but you gotta wonder when a victim's saying something, why wouldn't you tell us more of the victim's story? And since you are going to do an investigative piece, to be non-biased, tell us everything you learn. I'm not an idiot. I don't need you to cut down an interview into a 30-second clip because I don't need you to cut out words that they say. I can make up my own mind. Put the words in there. Like, you see what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just a lot. Paul Harrison, thank you so much for the super chat. You said, hey, Tisa, it's been revealed that Jay-Z has an enormous statue of Baphomet in his place or studio. This is a demonic statue. To which him and his wife praised. My God, who said that? Like, I knew nothing about that. That is scary. I don't want no problems with Alex Sparrow. We cannot confirm nor deny. This is actually the first time that I actually heard this. It's like, you know, here's the thing. I'm not saying that Jay-Z and Beyonce, of course, pray to the devil. I don't know. I haven't researched the religious stuff. I do know that there are plenty of Satanists around. I'm not saying there's like 100 million, but people do worship the devil. You know, Sammy Davis Jr. Was a renowned Satanist. Google Eddie Murphy talking about how Sammy Davis Jr. told him that he worships the devil. And he hung around with like the head of like I want to say the Church of Satanism. I don't know. But he hung around with the head of the Satan Lovers of America. If that makes any sense, Google it. Sammy Davis Jr. was a renowned Satanist and they all hung around in the clip. So, and Eddie Murphy even confirmed it. It was funny the way he told the story, but it was a little scary too. And then when you dig into it, there's lots of people saying, yes, Sammy was a Satanist. So there are people that believe in the devil and want to see the world burn. Again, I don't talk to the devil. I assume based off the Bible, that is what the Bible, the devil's, what do you call it? The agenda, if you will, is. I don't know if I'm getting this wrong. I know you guys are going to tell me, but I'm not certain what the devil's agenda is. I assume based off the teachings of my mom and dad, it is to see the world burn. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys find out. Thank you so much, Paul. I appreciate that. And also, Infinite Wisdom, thank you for the generous gift. I appreciate both of you guys so much. Deborah Espinoza, thank you for being a member for 6 months. Also, Rebuttal Rand, thank you so much for the super sticker. Lovely Boo Rose said, Tisa outstanding. Oh, yeah, we already got that. Thank you so much, lovely. Mississippi Girl, what's up, Mississippi? She said, I don't think he would have scheduled an interview with him on vacay. Think it was a setup by Jay-Z knowing Buzzbee is on vacay and also think he paid that off. Jay-Z is a nasty, evil person. Listen, we did not know anything about Jay-Z, whether he is nasty or evil. To be honest with you, a lot of people say that he's a really, really nice guy. And a lot of people can't stand his guts. I do think it's weird that he scheduled an interview while he was on vacation, because they said that they did the interview on Wednesday. They talked to the father on Thursday, and then they called the girl back on Friday. And we all know that Buzzbee was literally listening to mariachi bands serenade him from Mexico. That sounds nice right now. So it's weird that it was set up. But again, Buzzbee better clock in and do the work on Monday. Somebody send this live to Monday or to Buzzbee PowerPoint presentation. I'm about to call 1-877-4HSI tips for myself and send them a PowerPoint presentation. But yeah, Mississippi Girl, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate that. And I love your Abby Biggs. I love the blonde highlights too. I know that looks really cute with like some Farrah Fawcett curls. Anyway, you guys, listen. It's getting late. I gotta eat my ice cream, and I promised myself I would be in bed before 12. But justice never sleeps. Justice never sleeps. And remember, no matter what anybody says, right? Remember this, boys and girls. We don't fight for victory. We fight from victory. Yeah. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I will talk to y'all later. Bye. Oh, also, if anybody wants, I'll do a 10-minute recap. So if you guys don't want to watch a whole 2-hour live, I'll talk to you later. Bye.